Hey everyone, what's up? Today I'm doing a boat cover review on this brand new boat cover that I got installed on my boat. So a little backstory is I bought this boat earlier in 2022, and actually the ad said that it included a custom cover. Well, I never really got to see the cover. I got to check out the full boat, and ended up going to buy the boat and pick up the boat, and the guy didn't have the cover. He thought he left it at another storage place. So I said, okay, that's fine, you can just ship it to me. Well, after 3 weeks, he ended up never finding the boat cover, and he's like, okay, well, since it was in the agreement, I'll get you a cover. And it ended up just being a little cheap cover from Bass Pro that didn't fit anything on this boat because of my Ghost trolling motor and my electronics at the dash. So I was without a cover all of 2022. So pretty quickly I started doing some research and to see what was out there for me to get a good custom boat cover for this boat, because I know this boat's gonna be mine for a while and I gotta make it last. And traveling to and from places in winter and just whenever I need to use a cover. So I went ahead and did some research, and I found this place called Horns Custom Cover. I went ahead and contacted Horn Custom Covers, and I got a hold of the owner, his name is Bob, and he's a very nice gentleman. When we started talking in the beginning of March, he told me that it would be a little bit of a wait. He was going to be about 6 months because he was backed up with other people in front of me, and I said that would be totally fine. I would fish all of 2022 without a cover. Being nice weather, I usually have no problems hauling my boat uncovered anyway. But I decided to tell him that I would take a spot, and he told me sometime around August he'd get back with me. So fast forward to August, I reached out to him and was kind of seeing where things were going. He told me there was a fabric shortage, and he had to wait an extra 4 or 6 weeks for more fabric, so that put him behind on some other people, which therefore delayed me. So at the beginning of October, he's like, okay, it's my turn, and I'm able to drop off my boat, and he was able to take it and work on it for 9 days. And over those 9 days, I asked him, he said he put 28 hours of work on this cover. If you ask me, I don't think he missed anything. It looks really great. He did very professional work. I'm gonna take you through a couple of parts of this cover that I really like, and then I think that he has really nailed, and show you a couple of tips that he taught me as well. So also, after I first contacted Bob back in March, he asked me for a couple of pictures of my boat. He wanted to know like what was on the front, and he wanted to know if I had power poles, which I did, and he wanted to know just a couple of details. And so I took some pictures of the back of the boat, and I took some pictures of up by the front by the trolling motor and some of the electronics, and he was able to, without even seeing my boat, just kind of get an idea and a vision of what my cover would look like. So right out the gate, his concern was the power poles. He said since mine were so far back, he was very comfortable doing the wedge shaped cover where he goes over the motor, and versus missing the motor and just covering through the back. That was kind of how I wanted it anyway. My last boat had a cover that completely covered the motor, and it looked really sharp and it hauled really well. I'll show you guys a clip here in a minute on how it hauled down the highway to get it back home. Here is a live look at how the boat is hauling. I'm doing 71. Going 72 miles an hour. It looks like it's holding up really good going down the road. Triple vent system. Looks really nice. So yeah, hauling down the road really well. So real quick, I'm gonna pop my head under here. This is under the cover. He's got 3 poles that are adjustable, that slide up and down. I don't really want to climb all the way up in there. And the poles go into 3 different vents. So it's really almost like a small tent down here, but he's got everything really nice, really neat. And I like exactly, and he's got the poles labeled 1, 2, and 3. A little hard to see. He told me that if the boat ever gets really wet and I do have the cover on it, just pull it out in the sun. And with the vents in the sun, he said it works to dry your boat out in about 4 hours. So I'll have to test that to be true and see how that goes. So when I got down there to him, I pulled my boat into his little shop, and he's got a shop that he does all of his work in. And he pretty much laid down 2 colors because that's what he had in stock at the time, which was this gray color and a black. And I was just trying to think what would match best with my boat, so I went with the gray, and I'm pretty happy I did. I think it looks really sharp and looks really nice. And of course his detail-oriented cover looks super good. And he adds rubber reinforcement underneath all of the points of angles, and like, because I got a graph under here, windshield, you can see the square up here in the front graph, and the head of the trolling motor. This is a transducer. He's got a little piece of rubber sewed in there, a rubber around like the head of the trolling motor. He's got lots of reinforcements all over the boat, wherever there's parts that protrude outside of just the regular sleek aerodynamic cover. All right, so now I want to talk about the buckle straps. So this is very common. You see these on a lot of boat covers. But what I like about Bob's, and something that I'll show you, he's got 4 straps that go on both sides. So what Bob does here is he takes these buckle straps and he just obviously buckles it. And he snugs it up. He said it just needs to be snug. He leaves me this much tail. And what Bob does on his clip ends, he leaves this little gap right here. So you can take your tail and you can run it through 3 times. That's what he told me. And you'll have no problem with your tails flapping in the wind if you're gonna go a long distance. You just take that through there, run that through, and you're good to go. So something I want to share that he told me, because I think everybody can use this and not just his design. But so he taught me on these straps. So let's say you're putting your cover on and you know it's flat. So most people, including me, I would think, myself, would want to do it flat and straight. Well, the problem is with it going straight and flat, the problem with it being straight and flat is this catches a lot of wind and it wants to vibrate. And he showed me a picture of a strap just like this, brand new, off one of his covers, that caught wind on the way home from his shop in Bourbon, Missouri. It caught wind, and within 100 miles it actually started to tear already, just from vibrating and going right back and forth on one another right here where it crosses. So what he told me and showed me to do, which I think is very smart, is you're going to want to take your strap, you're going to want to put a full twist in it, so it'll look like this coming down. One full twist, hold it, come back up, and put at least one full twist in it, come around the back, make my buckle, and snug it up. And I can attest, going 70 miles an hour down the road, these things didn't shake or vibrate at all. So he is definitely onto something there. Maybe it's just me finding this out for the first time, but did really good from this catching wind and vibrating going down the road. So he said that's supposed to increase the life of these straps. And there we go. It's ready for the road. And so he's got that on every single one of these, and that's really nice. Okay, so now come around to the back. So this is what's gonna, this strap right here is what's gonna pull it tight all the way through. So same design, he's got it tucked 3 times. When my cover's tight, it should come all the way down to here. He's got it perfectly marked, so I know it's nice and tight. And so if I was gonna loosen this, I'd pop my cover, and he's got this going underneath my prop. He installed a piece of rubber on the bottom of this strap and sewed it in so that whenever I go around my prop, is how he made it and designed it to work. I loosen my strap there. I pull it tight, not quite there. Boom, I'm there, I'm tight. I can tuck it up and tuck it in, call it good. Okay, so once you get that all tucked up and tucked in, he's got an extra strap right here, which this, he's got designed to where he said it's set just right. It just goes right underneath where my motor mate is, and it pulls up and it just holds this from flapping a whole bunch. So that's kind of nice. He said on my Nitro, he said there is many other boats. He said you can bring the cover and come down like below the name and everything. But he said on the Nitro, it's kind of difficult with how they have the mold of the boat. So he goes underneath this lip here. And for ordering him to do that, he uses this, it's a rope ratchet. So I'll show you how this works. Included this Velcro to hold the access rope. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this to break the tension, and then and there's a lever right there in the top that I gotta pull down on, and that'll break the tension. And now I got it nice and loose, and he's actually got it marked to right now where it's pulled tight, and he's got everything kind of marked out for me, so it's really nice extra thing that he did. But I really like it. Whenever I want to come snug it, and he said to pull this rope as tight as I can and to snug the buckle straps, and I should have good results. So I just pull this nice and tight right there to the black, and good and tight, and it goes all the way around. So I'm pretty satisfied. I like the little rope ratchet idea. I think it's gonna be a really good cover. And so that's a little rundown of the back of the boat and how it gets connected and how everything works. I will say this, whenever I came and I arrived at his place, he gave me a piece of this material that this is made out of, and he let me, it was already pre-torn, and he's like, here, try to rip this. And I did, and I really thought it would rip, I don't know, fairly easily, being a pre-torn piece of cover. But this fabric for this cover is very strong. I was not able to tear the piece, so I know that this is a very strong material. And as you can see, all of these seams and all of the sewing is very neat, very professionally done, and I think he just did a phenomenal job. I can't say enough good things about this, and I just want to thank him. Bob, thanks again for your wonderful art. This is awesome. I'm excited to use it and travel the boat around and see where we go. This all started again because we are heading back to Canada in 2023, and it's going to be a good trip. So I had to get my cover, and now I'll do some winter fishing, and then come next spring we're heading north. So be lots of content to come from that. Again, I just want to thank Bob for building this cover. Yeah, I could tell he put a lot of time and effort into this. 28 hours working on this cover alone for my boat. He said mine was about 10% longer than other covers just because of the details with electronics and the trolling motor and other small things he had to account for. So 28 hours of work time. I'm very impressed with the craftsmanship that he has put forth on this cover. Ballpark, it ran me just under $1,500 for those who are wondering. So I've always been a believer in you get what you pay for. Pay a little bit more now, it might last a little bit longer down the road. So thankfully I store my boat in a garage, so this cover, if it stays in a nice garage in a nice environment, this cover should last for this entire boat's life. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you're looking for a good spot to get a boat cover, I highly suggest Horn Custom Covers down in Bourbon, Missouri. Look him up online. That's how I found him. He's got really good reviews, and I'm obviously giving him another good review because I think his craftsmanship is superb. Be aware, if you are looking to get a cover, he told me when I left, it is October 19th today. He's booked out all the way till June. So if you're looking for a cover quickly, he can't help you. But if you can wait, his covers are worth it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.